King 5 News, with all the latest news, weather, and sports. Number 1 in Western Washington, this is King 5 News.
Hello, Washington, and welcome to Channel 5 News, where at 5 o'clock it's news and at 10 o'clock it's history. My name is Stephanie Garza.
And my name is Soukup.
Today we will be covering the important information covering the Senate race between Patty Murray and her challenger, Dino Rossi.
This current Senate race is taking place in Washington State, where Patty Murray is the Democratic incumbent who has been in office since 1992. Her challenger, Dino Rossi, who has served on the State Senate Committee, has tried twice to run for governor but has failed both times.
This race is going to be a down-to-the-wire win with a slim margin of victory. Washington has always been very vocal about their Democratic voting trends in the past presidential and congressional elections.
Today we have two political analysts and a political expert that will break down the background and campaign platforms of each of these candidates.
Now we will pass it off to Malcolm Irani, our political expert.
Thanks, Stephanie. Since 1944, Washington has had a strong Democratic backing, with Democratic senators being elected consistently except for a 12-year gap from 1988 to 2000 with Republican Slade Gorton. This year, the numbers show that 49% of the population considers themselves Democrats, while only 45% of the population considers themselves Republicans. The numbers are so close that in the year 2000, only 2,000 votes separated the two parties in the congressional elections. This year, 3.5 million voters are registered in the state of Washington, with over 70% of the voting population eligible to vote. This year also looks to be historical in that 2 out of 3 voters are expected to vote in the elections, the key demographic being women 65 years and older. With this high voter turnout, it looks out to be a really close election. Now we're going to hear from our political expert on Rossi.
Thanks for having me. This is shaping up to be quite a race indeed. The difficulty of facing such a long-time incumbent might have been deterring the most, but Dino Rossi has really been putting in the work, and I like what I'm seeing. Dino has been out in the streets nearly every day, meeting his constituents firsthand. Just yesterday, he made a 5-hour drive across Washington, holding 3 different rallies in 3 major cities. StrikerCandidate.com ranked Rossi as the top political newsmaker out of nearly 1,600 other candidates across America. In just over 4 months, he raised $5.8 million in support, and unlike Patty Murray, 84% of his donors are actually citizens of Washington State. So let's take a look at what's making him so popular among Washington voters. Obviously, the state of the economy is a concern to most people right now, and one of Rossi's primary issues is job creation and economic growth. He is big on reducing government spending and reforming Washington's tax code. Another one of his major goals is to repeal the new health care reform and replace it with something that is actually helpful to Americans. If Dino can keep up his momentum, I think he's got a real chance at taking home the win on Election Day.
Thank you, Lucas. Now let's hear from the political expert from Patty Murray.
Senator Patty Murray has served 3 terms in the U.S. Senate and is looking for her 4th term. Murray was first elected in 1992, running on her Mom in Tennis Shoes platform, and became the first female U.S. Senator for the state of Washington. She has enjoyed a lot of success in bringing back money to her state, so much so that she has been nicknamed the Queen of Pork, a term that she is very proud to represent. Coming from a humble background, she strives to represent the middle class and fight for the average American's rights. Having been a teacher for 7 years and the daughter of a disabled veteran, she makes it a top priority to increase education spending and to improve the treatment for sick veterans. Murray helps write several important pieces of legislation, including the Violence Against Women Act of 1994 and more recently the Health Care Reform Bill. Murray was one of the few to vote against the war in Iraq, voted for the guest worker program, the stimulus bill, and co-sponsored legislation protecting the reproductive rights of women. She is running this term on her history of being one of the most successful senators in bringing back money and programs for her constituents. Murray has secured hundreds of millions of dollars for her constituents, has passed and written several important pieces of legislation, and is looking to continue her success by winning her 4th term for the U.S. Senate.
This looks to be a close election, but with her high-profile campaign and her incumbency advantage, I believe that Patty Murray will pull through with a slim win.
Thank you, Malcolm. Well, there you have it, our predictions for the 2010 Senate race in Washington State. Although it's going to be a close race, we believe that the Democratic incumbent, Patty Murray, is going to hold on to her seat.
We hope that you join us next time here at Channel 5 News when we cover who actually wins the Senate seat. Thank you for joining us today.
You stay classy, 312.